For the today topic, I will be covering some of the basics requirement in the pharmacovigilance and drug safety. The first slide is regarding the what all topics we'll be covering in the basics in pharmacology. The first is introduction. In the introduction, I will covering the what is the purpose for it, what is the prerequisite, interest and outcome. The second are different component of pharmacovigilance. Third is various terminology like definition which we encounter in day to day while covering the pharmacovigilance. The fourth is the type of information we collect in the pharmacovigilance from various different sources. Fifth is kind of adverse reaction or adverse event occur to the patient which we collect. The next one is regulation, which while performing pharmacovigilance there should be some regulatory authority which will be keeping an eye on us over whether we have done our work properly or not. The next will be the summary of all the things, and the last will be concluding. In the previous section, I have mentioned number of drug in US which was withdrawn due to the several reasons. The first is lumiricoxib, which was withdrawn in 2008 year due to hepatotoxicity. Second in aprotin in 2008 due to kidney and vascular toxicity. This several drugs has been gone under the clinical trials, but has been withdrawn due to the different reasons from the market. Mainly the negative point regarding the clinical trials are such as clinical trial often involve limited number of patients. Therefore, this preclude identifying the rare serious adverse event. So the clinical trial is bound to in some period of time they have to finish it out. So after when a reaction occur after the trial, that can't be detected within the trial period. Second deficiency of the clinical trial is it is often shorter period of time than expected. Therefore, the adverse reaction which after exposure or prolonged period of time which occur when the patient is given a drug for 3 to 4 year, and the adverse event which is encountered after the 3 to 4 year which may not be probably detected during the clinical trial. And clinical trial mainly involve the healthy patient. Mainly the clinical trial is divided into 4 phases: first, second, third and fourth one is called post marketing. In this whole 4 phase of clinical trial should be done within 6 to 7 years. Each phase of trial should be conducted within 1 or 2 years. And so number of patients involved it very limited. From the first phase to third phase it is approximately from 100 to 3000, and first 2 phase always involve the healthy volunteer, and third phase is involve the patient who are suffering from some diseases. So clinical trial is usually involve relatively healthy population and which is not representative of the future target population, which is medicine consumed by consumer. Fourth one is the treatment of patient involved in the clinical trial is usually limited to only one drug. Whenever clinical trial is undergoing, it is with respect to one drug, and when the patient is given a drug like hypertension or diabetes, it is not one drug, it is a combination of drug. So adverse event arising due to drug interaction before the marketing, it is not encounter or detected in clinical trial. So for pharmaceutical companies it become important to implement a risk strategy plan which encompasses the use of technology to ensure the production and safety and efficacy of the drug, which also be ensuring the proper approval by maintaining the safety, risks and ratio balance. So the pharmacovigilance will provide all this opportunity and will help the pharmaceutical industry to come over this. And one classical example which I need to be mentioned here is rofecoxib, which was used before 2004 for arthritis patient for chronic pain. It was used approximately 18 million worldwide. It was one of the blockbuster at that time of Merck. Due to the severe adverse event like heart attack and stroke, it was withdrawn from September 30th 2004, and the revenue which was collected by Merck by selling of this drug is 2.5 billion. And after the side effect, the legal claim all the burden of regulatory authority, it has to repay approximately 917 billion in 2007. This was a major setback for the Merck. The second example which I can give is sulfanilamide elixir, which was withdrawn in 1937. Approximately 107 people died due to it as a result of poison of elixir, but it was not due to the active ingredient which is sulfanilamide, but it due to the solvent which is used for dissolving and giving to the children is diethylene glycol. Major reason was found is toxicity. When it is consumed in the children, it was leading to toxicity. Before the marketing, we need keep a watch on his different number of side effects which is encountered, and number of drug which having mentioned in the table like rofecoxib, cardiovascular event which is cardiac toxicity like heart attack and stroke. Moving to next is about main features which we don't know is number of deaths resulting from medical errors in US. In US it is in US only it is 1 lakh per year. Medication error simply means a human error. This human error can be because of multiple medication at one time. Patient may be having some impairment like renal impairment, and he is taking a COX-2 inhibitor or some higher antibiotic which will harm it to the patient who cannot communicate well. There is a communication gap between the patient and doctor, patient and pharmacist. So due to the least understanding of the medical terminology to the patient who have more than one doctor means a patient who is diabetes or hypertension is going to one doctor for his regular medication, but due to the some pain or and one day on due to account of some pain he goes to other doctor, but he forgot to tell that this kind of medicine is I'm ongoing on this hypertension and diabetes medication, and without the knowledge of that patient, physician may prescribe some of the medication which might aggravate or aggravated condition. Third, mainly the children and babies are directly exposed to the drug. Therefore, many a times bottle which is airtight and other thing which have to be kept at upper shelf, because many times the children are directly exposed to it by accidentally taking this drug. This human error, which is we call as medication error, maybe due to the inexperience, rushing behind a number of things at one time, interruption, reluctance in memory at whether. A simple example of the acidity, many times if an antibiotic is given, a hard antibiotic, with that antibiotic is always an antacid is given with that to decrease the acidity effect of particular antibiotic. Many times if you consume just antibiotic and without taking the antacid, then it may lead to acidity. This can be also a error from the our side, because it was told to us we have to take a medication but we didn't do it. The second point, medication error are among the leading cause of death in US. It is one of the fourth leading cause after accident. Medication error in US lead to the excessive cost of 37 billion per year. The purpose of it that consumer, patient and healthcare profession play an important role in the reporting of process and safety related information. This also helps the pharmaceutical company to provide a safety data of their product, what they have manufactured, and this safety information helps the pharmaceutical company to get approval from different country, from their different regulatory authority on the safety databases. The next is interest. What is valuable feedback from we get from it? It is handling of data, adoption of pharmacological tools, specification, signal detection, and management of technology of solution and data management, and reporting of AA. This all kind of information can be helped with the pharmacovigilance database system, which help the company to handle safety data as well as appropriately regulate and submit report to specific country or region based their authority. This also is a time saving, as the post analysis of clinical data required to and fro communication between the researcher and statistician. This can be a few days, a few months, a few weeks. So to come on conclusion, some of the facts: advanced signal detection technology like pharmacovigilance throughout the clinical trial is there, which allow a statistician and the researcher to work on real time basis, which reduce the time and also the time of interchange between the statistician and investigator. And the third is reduction of cost. The above 2 points lead to the reduction of time saving and cost also, because time saving effort lead to decrease in cost and faster the process the product came to time to the market. And it also helps to earlier detection, which lead to early detection of safety issue, so termination if a particular side effect is very high, so we can terminate that a particular advanced stage of particular drug. So in turn the cost of the company and money they might be spending on the clinical trial, litigation and regulatory affairs are saved. A pharmacology outcome assessment of risks, which allow the particular clinical trial or preclinical phase to assessment the risks and benefit of the marketed medication. Second is monitoring effect of any corrective action, if there is any corrective action required, any dose adjustment, any frequency or route of administration, that can be done by actually collecting the data from pharmacovigilance. Third is providing information to the consumer, practitioner and regulator about the effective use of medication and taking the appropriate action. Pharmacovigilance does not always imply to negative effect of the particular medication, but it's also imply to the positive effect of the medication. And the fourth is designing program procedure for collecting and analyzing safety data for the patient and clinical. This is particular software we use where the collection of the data is fed, and that data on a summarized form, it is submitted to regulatory authority, which decrease the data correlation and also help in e-reporting section. Major players involved in the pharmacovigilance. First is the drug industry, which actually manufacture and throughout from start phase of lead to the marketing. The drug industry keep an eye on it whether drug is successful or not. The members which are involved in R&D, which are in the development of drug, marketing, how they market the particular drug after the post-market approval, advertising, monitoring in each phase of the drug development, funding where they need the fund from various organization for marketing of the drug. Second is government, who regulate and keep an eye on each and every step of the pharmaceutical industry before the launch of particular drug. And a funding, they also provide the fund to the drug which some of the medication like polio, which can be used on a vast number of population. The third is doctor and nurse and pharmacist. These are the primary person which we can say are directly coming in contact with the consumer while giving the prescribing or giving the medication or telling them how and which way the medication and what time they have to take. The fourth is consumer and other their group. It is the prescription only medication which involve the like medicine like which affect the brain and heart, which can be only given to patient on the prescription only. OTC drug over the count, mainly normally painkiller which can be available without any in prescription of the medical. The fifth one is lay and professional and trade media who actively involved in all this process. The NGO and research charities is which consist of coordinate, consult and fund. And the last is judiciary, which has the power over regulation of pharmaceutical industry. The next is the component of pharmacovigilance. It's mainly divided into three components. ICSR means individual case safety reporting. A layman term is a particular patient have been by taking a so and so pharmaceutical drug has experienced an adverse event. This a single patient with a single drug with a single event is whole profile of the patient with the event, with the reporter and with the drug is called ICSR. This ICSI involves number of steps and number of types also. The second is processing. In the processing of this ICSR, it is divided into number of stage like initiating or we can say triaging. Second is case processing, which actually involve to feed all information which we have received from the call center in our database. And the third is quality review, when this whole information which is fed goes through a procedure where the quality check perform. Fourth is medical review, and at this stage the medical is physician which is involved, which active role in medical understanding of the information which has been reported. The fifth is the submission to the regulatory authority,